All right, I'm going to take us into Facebook now.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Greetings, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to everybody in the Zoom space. Welcome to everybody on Facebook. Good morning. Hello, and welcome to day 571 of the Wake Up Everybody virtual community. Good morning. Let's see.
Peace and blessings.
Oh, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Sister Abimbola. Good morning to Sister Afriye. Who else is here with us? Good morning, Sister Hattie. Good morning, Sister Marie Lavelle. Okay, we are moving along. I'm losing track of who's here. But good morning, everybody. Good morning to Sister Stacy Evans, that is, because we have a few Stacys in the community. Good morning. Greetings. If everybody, for today's session, what you'll need is some comfortable clothing, and so you have a little room to stretch in your chair, and a pen and a journal, because we're going to do a little writing, and you may want to write things down. And good morning and welcome. Welcome.
Union crossing to Delaware is going up for sale.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to Rennie. Good morning, Rennie. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Sister Zahura. Brother Adam, good morning. Good morning. Trying to see who all is in the space. Good morning and welcome. Again, welcome to the Facebook community as well. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to us working together today on this co-collaboration on vision. And I want to share some stuff with you. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sister Andrea. Is it Andrea or Andrea? Good morning, Miss Fisher. Okay. Good morning. Oh, Miss Naomi is here. Good morning, Miss Naomi. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sister Deborah. Epic Deborah is in the house. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Let's see who all is here. Okay, I think I can see now who's here, who's not. Good morning, everybody. And welcoming you into the space and wishing you all a very good morning. Okay, so I'll see you on the other side of the music.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. And I see we were joined by a few other faces. Good morning. Good morning, Z. Good morning, Head Coach Sahu Speed. Good morning, Sister Sabrina, Sister Epic Veronica. And good morning, Sister Joy. Okay, good morning, everyone. And welcome. Welcome to the Wake Up, everybody, virtual community. Okay. All right. So I'm Gina Leito-Diouf, and I wanted to talk to you this morning about my vision and about my business. So I need you to have a journal and a pen, something comfortable on so that you can stretch and do a little light movement, nothing too heavy, and an open mind and a willingness to share. So if you could bring all of those things, and if you're not fasting, you may want to have some water or some tea with you. And if you are fasting, Ramadan Mubarak, I'm fasting with you. Okay, so good morning once again. As I said, I'm Gina Leito-Diouf. My business is Sankofa Sojourns. So we're gonna share a little more about that. And then we're gonna have a conversation about the vision behind my business and about your vision, because we all have something that's been placed in us and on us to do and to bring forth. Okay. And then along the way, we're going to get a little creative. We're going to do some creativity together, and we're going to do a little movement, but before we start, I'd like to ask for permission to begin. So is there anyone over 75 in the space? Is there anyone, if there's no one over 75?
I'm over 75, excuse me.
That's okay. Is that Sister Abimbola?
Yes, I'm 76.
Congratulations.
Thank
Sister
you.
Abimbola, do we have permission to begin today?
Yes, permission's granted. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We ask permission out of respect for our elders, and I appreciate you. Thank you. So in 2018, I had a vision. It came to me while I was sleeping. Okay. It was, but I shared it with other people I trust, people who know about visions and dreams and things like that. And they made it clear to me that it was tied to my calling in life, that it wasn't just a regular dream. It wasn't just, a vivid dream, particularly vivid dream, that it was a vision. And then it started to awaken other things. And I realized that probably for, 8 years or so, I had been having pieces of this vision revealed to me in little snippets and little bits and pieces. Usually it would come through while I was doing a moving meditation that I would do. So it sort of congealed, it all gelled together once I shared with my two people that I share things like that with, that this is your vision, that this is part of what you're called to do. This is part of why you're here. And it was pretty big for me as a person who was not, well versed in any of this sort of world, in that world. And it was pretty big, and I just felt like, okay, that's a wonderful vision, but I don't know what that has to do with me. So I'd like to share a short video about the vision, about what happened, and about the business idea that came from it. Okay. And then we'll meet back here and talk after the video. So admin, if you could please share the video. When I was 43, I had a vision that I did not understand at all. Women dancing in white and smiling and happy and laughing, but it was on a slave ship. You're walking along one day, you're minding your business, someone comes along, and the next thing you know, you wake up, you're in chains, you have no idea what's going on. If you can imagine yourself, first off, in the bottom of a ship, not in a place where you know what's going on. You're in the hull, in the bottom of a ship. And so you had to make that trip across the Atlantic to get to those different places. And you don't know what you're going to find when you get there either. The first thing you had to do was be convinced that you're no longer human. So people couldn't treat you like a person. You are now owned by someone, and that person or family or entity now controls your every move. These were people with talents and knowledge and gifts that could be exploited. If nobody had to get paid a salary, everything they make is pure profit. People became incredibly wealthy, and to this day are still living off of those riches. There would be no semblance of America that stands today without those people who made that trip against their will. This was a huge worldwide criminal enterprise. Still, in spite of everything, people had hope, people had families, the people, the love, that was what they had. Because of them, we are. I feel like I owe them. So the tactics used and the resulting life, all endured, have left a mark of pain on all of the generations that have followed. So it makes it harder. Once you've survived the trauma, it's really hard to differentiate between the past and the present. So you have to change your physical state in order to change your mental outcomes. This trauma that's been implanted on our DNA can be reversed by reversing the trip that brought this trauma with it. I had gone to Europe, and I went to the Bahamas. And then I came back to Charleston, and in the midst of all its beauty and abundance, same thing that happened in the Bahamas happened in Charleston. Charleston is a lot like Europe, believe it or not. It was just very sad. It felt very oppressed and depressed and just soul stirring. Woke up the next day and I had a very clear vision that I have to go back. And I have to go back on a ship. I have to reverse the Middle Passage because the trauma is still everywhere. I would like to have workshops and classes every day. You must have some fun every day. So dance and physical activities also release emotion. Art, music, singing, writing, acting. These are all creative ways to release emotions as well. You're not alone. You're not alone, but you're going to conquer it. And you're going to see when you get there on the other side. All right. Thank you, admin, for sharing that video for me. And thank you to Afrofutures Productions for creating that video for me. Okay. Does anyone have any reflections that have come up for them since watching the video? Some people usually want to talk about it after they've seen it. So is there anybody who'd like to share something or has something that's come up for them from watching the video?
While we're waiting for everyone to get warm up, we have actually a hand raised, and Abimbola would like to share. Could you unmute?
Yes, peace and blessings.
Peace.
Just in terms of reflections, I've been to Ghana 11 times, and I've had the opportunity at least 5 of those times to visit the dungeons and the door of no return. And watching that video and your comment, listening to your comments, it took me back to reflecting on that experience that I felt the first time I entered those dungeons. They call them castles, but I call them dungeons. And the smell and the stench and the feeling and crying and emotions. So that's what I reflected on when I just saw the video and listened to you. And I'm complete.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Mama Abimbola. Okay, yeah, there was so much that happened to people, in this whole criminal enterprise that took place across the world, where we're all impacted by it. The world's been traumatized, and that's part of the reason that I created this business. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share, or admin? Is there anything in the chat or on Facebook?
Yes, we have something in the chat. We have a comment from Kadeem. Kadeem says, very profound that you reversed the journey of the Middle Passage. What was that experience like? Did you feel like you were successful in reversing it?
So far, Coach Kadeem, and good morning. He's one of the people that helped bring this vision out, whether he knows it or not. So far, I haven't physically done the reversal so far, and that's my ultimate goal, is to do that, to reverse it on ship, over the water, and to do it again and again, and to bring people with me, because that's what was shown to me in my vision, is that not only do I need to do that, physically sail back, I need to bring people back with me. And so, but I've done it, I've done it in my dream. I just haven't done it here in this earthly realm yet. But in the dream, yes, we were very successful. We felt released when we did it, and so that's one of the reasons that it became a vision of something that's driving me and pushing me forward. We didn't just sail back. When we sailed back, then we were welcomed home. We were welcomed home, and we were celebrated, because what is that expression? Don't go where you're tolerated, go where you're celebrated. And I feel like, in this country, we're barely tolerated, and we need to be celebrated. And so the reversal is going to be a celebration for us. We're going to celebrate on the way there, and we're going to celebrate when we get there. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Coach Kadeem. Thank you. Is there anything else in the chat before we move on?
Yes, we have a comment from Zakia. Zakia says, going back is essential to healing. I was blessed to be on Gori on my birthday on Juneteenth last year, and I took a monument to the ocean to honor our ancestors on a ship in 1999.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. And Sister Z, I remember you coming back from Gore and how full you were, and just you were on fire. You were just aglow. And so I know that gave me confirmation that, yeah, this is something that we need to do. This is something that we need to do. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So one of the things that I did was, as I said, I had this vision, had a dream, found out it was a vision, and it turned into a business. And at the time, someone said to me, this is going to be your business. And I was thinking, no, it's not. I have a job. It's pretty full. My day is full. I don't have time to also try to start a business of some sort. But she was very persistent that, yeah, this is going to be it. You don't let me figure that part out, and I'll share it with you as it comes along. She said, but it's clear to me that this is your vision and this is going to be your business. So as time went on, it did become a business. And because I realized, that this is going to cost money and this is going to be something that we have to, but we still have to do it. And so it became a business. And the business became Sankofa Sojourns. And so it came to me that this would be the name of the business because of the words that I chose. So Sankofa is a word, it's also a concept to me that comes from the Akan people of Ghana, where Sister Abimbola has been many, 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 many times. Yes, so the Akan people of Ghana in what's today called Ghana. And so it's broken out like S-A-N, san, that means return. K-O, ko, that means go. And fa, F-A, that means to look, seek, or take. So Sankofa, so you return, you go, you look, seek, and take. Okay. I also learned a meaning, a sort of a more literal meaning is it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind. Okay. It is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind. Normally, the more common and easily understood meaning of Sankofa is go back and fetch. So go back and get it. Okay. So it's sort of you go back to the past to go and bring forward from there what you need to be healthy in the present and to move forward in the future. So that's the concept of Sankofa. And you've probably seen the symbol, and if you haven't, you can Google it, and you'll see there's a couple of different iterations of the symbol, but the most stylized and descriptive one is a bird whose head is looking back over his shoulder, and the beak, there is an egg. So that's the going back, looking back, and that's what they're fetching to bring forward. Okay, so they're bringing this forward. So that is what Sankofa means. And then sojourn. A sojourn is a temporary stay. Okay, a sojourn is a stay, as a temporary resident somewhere. So as a sojourner, you're going places, you're staying places, but it's a temporary stay. So now I have my understanding of what this means and why I chose these words to name my business. But would anybody like to share anything about what these words mean to them? Sankofa and sojourn, one or the other or both?
I can start us off. When I initially saw sojourn, I was thinking of Sojourner Truth, and I didn't think about it the way you explained it just now. So I thought it was more like a women's empowerment, Black women group, maybe a traveling group for women of color, something like that. So the breakdown is making it clearer and definitely can align more with your vision for the business and beyond the business, just the vision in general. So thank you for the breakdown.
Thank you, Coach Chantel. Does anyone else have anything they want to share on those words? Or is there anything in the chat or in the Facebook? Come on, y'all, don't be silent on me. This is my first time. I need you.
Denise says she likes and agrees with your meaning. What did you agree with, Denise? Can we hear your voice this morning?
Good morning. Hi, Gina.
There you go.
Hi, Coach Denise.
Sometimes you gotta pull them in.
Yeah, no, her definition of sojourner is exactly what I meant. What I understand it to mean, a person that travels, that's not permanent. You're here only for a temporary time. And Sankofa, I can only go with her definition. I did not know. She's the one that shared it with me the very first time. So I like the whole idea. And I agree with Gina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. And then we also have Stephanie. Can you unmute, please?
Yes, I didn't know what Sankofa meant. And I remember when you first shared it with me, I was like, oh, I see Sankofa. But now that I know what it means, and it's just resonating so much more deeply. So I think it's the perfect name for what you'll be doing. I mean, it's an amazing name. So you got 100%. I love it.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you. So just to be transparent, Stephanie is one of the people I called when I woke up from that dream, and just was like, what? Let me tell you what just happened to me in my sleep. So I can give you a little more information about that vision that actually took place. We had gone to a family reunion, and we stopped it was a cruise to the Bahamas, and we stopped off in Charleston. The cruise left out of Charleston, and I had never been to Charleston before. While we were in the Bahamas, I did a little exploring, off the main drag, outside the straw market. I decided to just go wandering. We were on Nassau, and I decided to just wander a little bit because I like to see more than what was presented to me. And what I saw was just very soul stirring for me. It was just, to me, it just looked like colonialism had just decimated this beautiful island, at least the part that I saw. I can't speak for all of Nassau, but for what I saw a lot of old abandoned buildings that looked like forts and army bases that were just overgrown with weeds. And so really big houses that were now businesses, and some of them were just empty, and it just looked abandoned. It looked like, colonists had come here, done a whole lot of stuff, and then decided, we're done with this. We got everything we can get out of here. We're out. No, we're not going to come back here and clean any of this up. We're not going to restore anything. We're just abandoning you. And and that really bothered me because it's so much beauty there. It's just all the natural beauty of, the Bahamas. But also so much abandonment and just letting it go. They just kind of just let it go. So when we came back from the trip, we landed, the boat was in Charleston. And so I had never been to Charleston. So I had heard it was a beautiful city. I said, let me explore Charleston. So I had a day to just wander around Charleston, around the, right by the port, the cobblestones and the horse and carriage and all of that good stuff. And it was just beautiful, and it was horrible at the same time, because in those cobblestones, it just felt like I'm walking on blood. I'm walking on people, I'm walking on land that so much human degradation. People were just being sold. It was such a busy port for humans, human trafficking. And you could feel it, at least I could feel it. And I went to what they call the Old Slave Mart Museum, which is behind the building where they used to actually sell people. And the museum itself was phenomenal. It's a small museum. It's real easy to get through quickly. It doesn't take all day. And they put a whole lot of different installations in there, recordings, narratives of formerly enslaved people, recording of them telling you firsthand accounts of what their lives were like. And then they had also the instruments of enslavement, like I'm sure you saw it, Z and Gore, and I'm sure you saw it, Mama Abimbola, in Ghana, in those dungeons, where they have like the shackles, the actual shackles that were put on people, and the braces, the collars, and the instruments of torture that were used on other people to keep them in line, to break their spirit and keep them in line. So I saw a lot of that too in Charleston at that museum. So it was just, it was horrifying. It was horrifying. And it was beautiful at the same time. The streets are just gorgeous. The houses, it's historic. It's been preserved. So it was just, just this whole cognitive dissonance. How could people have done this to one another? And, and in the midst of all this beauty, so much pain. So that was sort of where I was coming from. And then I came home. I came back home. I'm here in Jersey, and that night I slept. And when I woke up the next day after returning from that trip, is when I had that vision, that just shook me to my core. And so that was the actual vision that that was what actually took place. And what the vision was became really unclear as I started to waken, but the feeling that it left me, that feeling hasn't left at all. That feeling has not left me. And I was confused, and I woke up and I said, God, what is that? What did you just do? Why did you show me that? And it was very clear. I understood that you have to reverse the Middle Passage by boat, and you have to do it with other people. So it was just really clear. It was a clear understanding of what it was what that dream was. So that's what I was referring to in the video. So I just wanted to go through and explain that a little bit. Okay, so we have a question, Sister Afriye, Epic Afriye, what's up?
So, good morning.
Good morning.
And this is more of just from beginning to now, what I've been experiencing. Just imagining the deepness of returning. Mama Mbumbola spoke of the door of no return. And I was really imagining a boat going there and us entering through where they said there's no return, and us just being like, oh yeah, there is. And those that have went through that door just being in celebration of us coming back and going through the door and walking onto the island, and just like, it's one of those things that actually right now it has my mind like, it's really blowing my mind. Like, no, y'all said there was no return, but we said we are returning and we're coming back in the way that you said nobody was supposed to come. So we're ending that. And in doing that, I feel it will definitely free the spirits of those that went that way. So this is a very deep topic. And yeah, I'm gonna put a P and pause on that right there.
Well, you said a whole word right there. So yes, and honestly, that's the vision. Us returning through that door, coming back through and saying, yes, we did return. Yes, we did return. The last time I was in Senegal in December, I did take a picture, but right now it's really not set up. It's not safe to stand on that ledge. But I did take a picture in the doorway of no return, and this time facing back to face the camera to show, yes, we can return. But yes, that is the goal, for us to pull up right there and them to let that gangplank down right there, and for us to walk right through that door. Okay, for us to walk right through that door and prove that no, we can return. We can return. But thank you. So thank you, not but thank you, and thank you, Sister Afriye. Thank you. And I do want to say, like, at this point, any sort of return, I believe is beneficial. I believe that whatever way we can make it back, I think you should, at some point, if you can, return to wherever your ancestral homeland is. And I think it's powerful for you, and like you said, Afriye, and I hadn't even realized so much about that the ancestors, they need that. They need that too, because yeah, they either were standing on their side, watching us leave, watching their people leave, or they left, or they and they were taken away. So in any case, even those, because I know a common thing for people to say is, well, they sold us, so they didn't really care about us. They sold us into slavery. So I don't want us to I'm not going to get all the way into that conversation at this point, but I just want to say that our return in any way can sort of start to heal those wounds for us and for them, because it was traumatic on both sides. It was traumatic on all sides. Even, believe it or not, the people who stole us, you know, the people like who took us, it was traumatic for them, because you can see all of the lunacy that's going on to this day in their minds, because they can't put it together either and make sense of it, because it made no sense. I see we have a hand up, Sister Celia.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say, in terms of the Sankofa and going back, many years ago, I went to Glencoe, Georgia for training. I'm a federal officer, and I had never been to that part of the country before. And so there was this storm that was coming, and they decided that we had to move from the training base, and it was going to take us to a college that was no longer in use. And when we left there, we were just driving through just open country and just, empty. And I just started to think, I'm in Georgia and I'm looking at all this empty space, land, and I'm just thinking of cotton. And I just went into this deep thing, and I was literally seeing my people working in the hot sun. And I'm sitting in this bus, and I was driving, and I started to perspire. And I was actually like feeling the heat of the sun. And I'm saying, this can't be real. I'm sitting in the bus. But it just brought me back, and I was just imagining what it was like to be working out here in this hot sun, and, sweat pouring down your face and people beating you. And after a while, because we drove like about almost 3 hours, I just felt this calm just come over me. And that has never left me. Every now and then I go back to that when I get angry about things or whatever. This image and that feeling always come back, as if it sort of like centers me. And I tried to explain to my son and my daughter about what I experienced, and then my son just recently, and this happened like about almost 30 years ago, because I'm about to retire from the federal service now. But my son and his best friend, they just came back from Ghana. And my son called me and he says, Mommy, I'm out here. And there's just something about putting my foot down on the soil in Africa. He said, I don't understand this. You get this feeling. So I knew exactly what he was talking about. And when you try to explain that to some people, they dismiss it and they think, what you're talking about. But I think until something personal happens to them, they won't really understand. So I'm really happy that I tuned in this morning, because I have been not well and out of the country and so on. And I said this morning I have to tune in and to hear this topic. So I just wanted to share this little bit, that once you are into your spirit and you know who you are and you understand where we came from, I think it is easier for us to connect with our ancestors and for them to connect with us, because we have to have that belief and understand who we are as a people and not dismiss what our ancestors went through.
Wow,
I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Celia. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you bringing that to us. And I just wanted to open it up and find out, did anyone else have a journey? Because that was a powerful journey that you took to Georgia. You didn't even know you were going back and going to come and fetch something and bring something with you. So would anybody else like to share their own Sankofa sojourn that they may have taken? I see Sister Veronica. Sister Veronica, good morning.
Greetings, Gina.
Greetings.
My journey was, I've been to Ghana twice and to Senegal, Gambia twice. And it was in the late 90s that I went to, Bamako is where you enter into Gambia on the ferry. And so I was sitting in on a bus, a local bus, waiting to go onto the ferry. And there were traders. What they do is they come by the bus and they want to trade with you. And so I was trading. I still have the piece of item that I got from the lady. So they say in Senegal, if you don't barter, they don't respect you. So you have to have conversation. You have to say, oh, bring it down, bring it up, whatever. And so as I began to do that, something overwhelming happened to me. It was as though I had returned to my homeland, my ancestral homeland. And I started crying and crying and crying. And the lady, the trader, she took off her earrings and she put them on my ears, took a chain off her chest and she put it around my neck and she hugged me. And I felt like she knew what I was feeling, that I had returned to my place of ancestry. And it has stuck with me all my life. I still have the earrings, and it was just overwhelming. It's like what you're saying is like we have to return and experience something so that we know that this is where we're from. And I just got back my ancestry.com ancestry. And what it says is that I'm 35% Nigerian, Ghana, Senegal, Gambia. And what it means is that my people roamed that particular ancestral area. So wherever I go there, I'm going to feel the essence of them. Even in my dreams, this is what I'm getting from you is like, I don't have to physically be there, but on a spiritual plane, we could constantly return and visit our ancestors. And I really appreciate what you've done this morning. Thank you, Epic Sister. God bless you, and I'm complete.
Thank you, Epic Veronica. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And yeah, when you said that, that just moved me to, because I could just see, her taking off her earrings. You know how our earrings, what they mean to us. We know every pair, and taking those earrings and giving them to you. That was a sister to sister. And here's my jewelry. You're back. Here's a gift that I wish I could have given you a long time ago. But welcome home. It's not, welcome home. Sister Basima, there's something to share.
Yes. So I just wanted to you talking about place and the sister was talking about Georgia. I my first and only time going to Africa was when I was my first and only time that I went to Africa was when I was 16, and I went to Senegal. And I remember my first during that time, the plane, we boarded off the plane, not on like a runway, but like on the ground. And I can remember, even though my mind was so different at 16, when I stepped foot, I remember the feeling so well. I started crying, and something inside my whole body just knew that this was just a huge moment that I would never forget. And I remember the first thing I did when I put my feet on the ground is I picked up some dirt. And I told myself I would remember this feeling. I'm 53 years old, and that was when I was 16, and I remember it vividly. But here's the thing. At that time, I lived in New York. My family is from Goldsboro, North Carolina. And we go back in Goldsboro. We've traced it back to slavery and to Guinea. So we're fortunate on my mother's side to have that history. And so for so long in my life, I have been resisting moving back to North Carolina. And I don't know why. I just didn't, I was living in Pennsylvania, was living in Florida, but North Carolina kept pulling me back. And I didn't move to Goldsboro, but right now I live in the country, in a rural part of North Carolina. And I live in a rural community where the Black people here were slaves, like they're descendants of slavery on my road. And I feel so connected to the earth. I can't explain it. when I drive by these fields, and I drive by, cotton fields and what is it? Soybean fields and all kinds of fields. And in my mind's eye, I can just sense us there. And sometimes when we're in remote areas, I can sense the spirits of my ancestors. And I don't know, it's like I'm connected. It's like I'm glad that I'm here. It's making me reclaim something inside of me that I think I had turned my back on, so to speak. And so I'm looking forward to go back as a collective with a more conscious mind on this trip. But I just wanted to share that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So I see we have 2 more hands up. So let's take 2 more shares. Sister Purple in the house.
Good morning, family. Great to be here and be with you all. I'll be moving and burning incense. I was reminded in this conversation to care that way. 2 places that I've traveled to, and one it was miraculous because I always thought of Egypt as a child. And I, in a sense, in my mind, I felt protective of Egypt and wouldn't tell schools as they would talk about it. And I came to understand later on it's because they were not acknowledging it as North Africa. And I was really happy and proud of myself when I took advantage of an advertisement I heard to go to join a group, African-American an African corrective history program called Dessert Club. And
Class of 2006.
That's right. And I love the requirements and the meetings and the reading and the teaching and the bonding with others and the travel in this country first before we went. So when I got there, I really felt regal and a sense of ownership that didn't feel like my socialization as a colonizer, right? I was with my people and the way they taught us and the way they moved and the way they told them, we're going to go in these temples because this belongs to our people and you're not going to tell us about this. I had never seen our people so grounded, clear about what was so for us. And when I was in the pyramid, with the Pyramid of Giza, I remember going down, and this has changed my life to that day, going down, and I think it was like 125 degrees when we went to Egypt. And I learned things about myself. I learned without realizing I was doing it, that to not sign on to collective mindset, meaning everybody's talking about how hot it was. And I just couldn't connect to that story. I remember I learned how to ground without knowing that's what I was doing, right? That I just was being cool and keeping cool thoughts and being present was having me not feel the temperature the way others were, because I also wasn't responding maybe or reacting to the temperature the way others were. And because of my physical fitness at the time, and I say that, or actually not physical fitness because many people were fit and well, my ability, I was fortunate to be able to do the crawl down in the Giza. And I remember saying, I want to take care of my ankles, knees. I want to be able to pull, push, and lift myself for the rest of my life so I can do things like this. Because it did feel like something I was fortunate to be able to do because of my abilities and to take advantage of every time I go there. And so going down in the bottom, where at that time I was an adult who was scared of the dark too. So I was surprised, but it was effortless. It was like, I gotta go in there. And when I got all the way in the bottom, that big, cool room, I could have took a nap, and I ain't a napper. It felt like I was a fish breathing in cave water. It felt so crisp, that air. And I remember like, I always want to go back this, I could get down again. And literally I'm like, yeah, I'm an underground rapper. Like after that, I became an underground hip hop artist. Because I literally is an underground, like understanding the ground. And I think it was 140 degrees, they said, in that room at that time, but it didn't feel like it to me. It felt like air conditioning, right? And the cool of stone so deep down under just gave me a reminder. As I tell the story, I'm like reminded of the chill and how the sand felt beautiful. And the step pyramid, I was following these owls. I have a way of traveling with groups, and then I gotta like go do my own thing. And sometimes it don't make it cool because I'm a rule follower, you know. It's so, but I get a moment where I'm like, I gotta dip, you know. And if it risks I don't think it's gonna risk my life either. Like it ain't that kind of reckless, irresponsible dip. It's literally like my soul telling me to go left, and I gotta go. So I was following these owls. I spotted 3 owls, and they were maybe camouflage. They were the same color of the stones, and they had orange eyes, and I could see them. And I just couldn't talk to the group. I couldn't listen to the tour guide because I had to chill with these owls. And I draw them sometimes. I have pictures of them and learned how to zoom in. What I also learned the hard way is that you ain't supposed to take no stones, right? And if they told people that, I wasn't listening at that moment. So I took something, and I tell you, life twisted and turned. I'm still trying to get somebody to go take this stone back from me, or I gotta go back because you ain't supposed to do that. Anybody know, don't take nothing from no sacred ground. I ain't know that. Another journey specifically to Africa, even though India just came to my mind, but it's just because I'm fortunate again to travel to these sacred places and temples, and like those sitting under the Bodhi tree meditating was really special for me. The power of the tallest peak in North America is in Hawaii, and the power of that mountain and the journey to go up that, like these huge places have an energetic healing for me. In Ghana, I got to travel to Ghana with the Dessert Club. We went to Egypt one time. I went with them there, and another time I went to Egypt and then Ghana. And Jackie, if Jackie on the call, Jackie was there. It's our first time traveling together with my little sister too. And we went into the castle, or not castle, the Elmina dungeon. So when the group went in there, I did like I'm gonna call it maybe my past life self. I think I was a child in there, because what came over me was this sense of play and adventure. So again, I didn't stay with the group. I started running around in the dungeon. I started finding other places that the group wasn't going, in little tunnels and secret passageways to get to other rooms. And then I think I tapped a friend, because there's always somebody that dip off with me, or we go dipping off together, right? And I'm like, yo, look at this. I found this shortcut. Oh my goodness. And we like, yo, you know what they was doing to the slaves in here? But how was I getting energy? Like I was fascinated. I was also freed up maybe by the truth, right? Or the being able to see it and be with it. It was so good. It was so fun. And that was so wow, right? But then we had an opportunity for those who, again, had the ability to go into one of the holding cells. And when we all went in there, and one of our guides, our leaders that was traveling with us, played Dr. Jeremiah Wright's "What Make You So Strong, Black People." And I definitely would encourage the community to listen to that. Listen to it yourself, and then listen to it again with your family.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was powerful being in that room for 18 minutes. He said, y'all strong enough to stay in here. Think about how they had to live in here. Mm-hmm. And it was dark, and there was so many of us, we were tight. And so the breathing, the breath, you had to learn how to not react to be in there and just listen to the words. And we got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think it was my little sister grabbed me. She's like, yeah, I felt something. People was feeling all kinds of things and seeing things and sensing things individually as a collective. But you had to keep just listening to the words to push yourself through it. And he was like, remember, they lived here. And so when we walked out of that joint, I fell to my knees and wailed for I don't know how long. Jackie had to hold me and get me up. And I was like, what happened? And that is the experience that had me learn I was an empath.
Thank you.
I'm complete.
Thank you so much. That was a whole session. That was a whole woo session, Coach. So I expect to see you at least doing the 30 minutes on just that and those travels. So we have time for one more share.
So thank you.
Head Coach Simon speak.
I'll jump in real quick. Thank you so much, Purple. That was a beautiful share. And we do have some more time if you want us to keep going, Gina. I just want to give us a time check. It's 7:55 right now. So we want to thank everyone who has been able to join us so far and give those of you who have to go to work or worship services, clean the house, whatever you need to do right now. Just give you a chance to hop off and thank you for joining us so far. And we're going to keep going. So we have South Speed here who has her hand up now.
Yeah, greetings, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity, Sister Gina.
Thank you.
Yes, for following your soul. Yes. So I went to Ghana the first time. So a lot of stuff happened to us, I say, around the 80s. So yes, I went to Ghana as a, so this program called Operation Crossroads Africa. But that was my first time. But the second time I went with my family, and I've been several times to West Africa, say. But the piece I wanted to talk about was the name. So Sankofa Sojourns. So I actually see you doing meditations for people, because let's say everyone cannot go, but you actually instill, you have your videos and everything, you have meditations for people to take them back and to actually do this as a ritual, as a rites of passage for them so that they can get that experience, not as the slaves, but the experience of the mighty people that the colonists, that the mighty people that were captured. So not you know what I'm saying? It's just like in the school system. Oh, I don't want to teach about slavery. Yeah, let's go beyond that. Who did they capture? They didn't capture slaves. They captured kings and queens of empires. So just using the terminology, because I don't want to think of my history as a slave. No, I'm not. I am before that. So to me, the sojourn, the Sankofa, is going back, getting the richness and the understanding that, these are kings and queens, heads of families, heads of households, heads of what do you call that? Of kingdoms, heads of villages, heads of states, chiefs. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is the history, not we're slaves. No, it's before that. And when people think of, oh yeah, let me get some Black history. Yeah, no, we don't want the slavery. We want the before. And then we want to know that those who passed, those who took their lives, all that, those are the survivors and those are the sojourners, right? We are not slaves, right? And so I see your business as changing the mindset of those who feel that they were a slave. So yes, of course, there are slaves. I want to be very clear at the same time, understand that you didn't capture a slave, you captured a king and queen. Okay, good. So then the other piece that came to me was, oh gee, I had to, because I've been taking notes, y'all. So let me see. I want to make sure I get this right in terms of time. Okay, so the other piece that came to me was the first time I went to Africa, because that was my high school trip. I sold chicken dinners. We made chicken dinners like for a whole year so that I could get to Africa. And then my parents matched the other half. So I had to do my part. And then they were like, if you do your part, then we'll match it. If whatever you do, we'll whatever. So, I was selling chicken dinners and things like that at that time so that I could go to Africa. And when I got to Africa, that same feeling that came over people, it just kind of came over me. I don't know my history beyond that. And before I went to college, I wanted to know that I was accepted as an African, because the history in school was like, the people in Africa don't like you anyway, and all that stuff. So I wanted to go there and get that acknowledgement, and I totally received that acknowledgement, totally. So thank you for this. I'm complete.
Thank you. That was so powerful. And thank you. And I received that, and I heard what you said, and I wrote it down. So yes, thank you. Just to share quickly, because everybody's saying the same thing. The first time I went to Senegal, I was bringing my nephew, and he was a baby. He was like a 1-year-old, and he had never been there. And both his parents are from Senegal, and so I got to bring him the first time he was going. And this was a baby. He could walk a little, kind of. We got off the plane. The flight was delayed, so we were on that plane for hours before we even took off. And then it's like a 7.5-hour flight and everything, so you can imagine the fun we had on that plane with that crying baby. But when we landed, and like you said, Stephanie, you get off and you're right there on the tarmac. You're not like in a terminal and all of that. You're right there on the ground. That baby got down out of my arms and bent down and put his head on the ground and his hands on the ground. Now, that was just complete submission to his soul. Like, he just knew he was home, and he didn't know how to speak yet. He didn't have a lot of words or anything yet. So yeah, that's just lets us know, like, we know where we belong, and we know where we're home, and we know where we can be accepted. Like you said, Coach Sapu Speak, you wanted to know that I will go to Africa and be accepted, because the narrative is definitely, they didn't want you either. They told you that if you go back, they don't like you. They don't like Americans, So, just so we know where we belong. Yes. Yes, Coach Chantel. You're muted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of the narrative and the mindset. For me, when I went back to Africa, I went to Kenya and Zanzibar. So there's the narratives that we've been told by people here, but also in our family. For me, my grandmother was like, "Why are you going to Africa? What's in Africa? You don't even know where you came from. How did they dress?" It was just so ignorant, but like an innocence to it as well. And she just did not understand why I had to go back, and everything she was asking me was kind of stereotypical of someone here in the States, or like someone was feeding this to her, what she heard growing up. And I just felt so bad for her in this limited space that she was in. And so it's like you said, we're reclaiming something, and that can be whether it's our ancestors, our time, anything, right? This session is giving birth to reclaiming anything that we need to go back and fetch, whether it's a different version of ourselves, our heart space is in a different time in our lives, whatever that is, people, places, things. And I found myself going online, looking up Charleston, but my family's from Sumter, South Carolina. And my grandmother, I'm looking like, okay, I want to book a flight. I'm going to go back. And she would probably say, "What are you going to South Carolina for?" And she just wouldn't understand. And she's always been like running from home in a sense. And New York is her home now. And she doesn't look back. She's not fetching anything. And so for me, it's like you could do a local Sankofa domestic and going back to where your family is from in the States. And so for me, I think my next trip will be going to South Carolina, even if it's not understood by my grandmother and why I'm going back and what I'm searching for and what I'm fetching. But it kind of is like, now travel is different with COVID, but I don't mind taking a journey right here in the States to see what that feeling is like, and get in touch with ancestors that are right here at home.
Beautiful.
I'm complete. Yes. And I also wanted to share, you've been sharing so much with us, and this could come after a free aid, but how can we help you in your journey and bringing your vision to life? What can the community do? Is there a waiting list? Do we need to start a payment plan so we can go with you? Do we need to build a ship? Like, let us know how we can help you after a free aid. And I'm complete.
Okay, thank you, Coach Chantel. Sister Afriye.
Greetings. Just in hearing everyone speak, I went to Ghana in 2019 for the first time. And my cousin on my mom's side, she was like, oh my goodness, you are the first one of us to go back to the continent. And when I was planning the trip, that never dawned on me. It didn't dawn on me at all. And then I remember we rented a compound. There was four of us staying in the compound, and there was another compound next to us. And the elder there, I was speaking to her, and she said, I don't understand. You don't know who your people are from here? And I said, no. I said, because they were slaves, they were taken off. Do you know this woman grabbed me? She hugged me and she saw more than what I did.
Mm,
And she was
mm,
just like, I can't imagine what it is to not know your relatives, to not know where you came from. And at that moment, it was very deep, but it's like me. I can only speak for me. I never really, okay, I do understand I don't know who my relatives are. This is such a deep reality. And she brought me to the sadness and the realness of not knowing. And just to be embraced and hugged and loved and cared for in that way was like, wow, Afriye, I know you don't know, but like, you really don't know. You don't know who your people are. You don't know where you came from. Of course, now I'm doing the research for it, but it's such a daggone sad truth, a reality. And in the sadness, you are bringing me to so much light and lightness and joy because I'm taking that trip with you. I'm putting my money now in in an envelope. And it's like, I will regain that part of me. And it's a part that it doesn't even matter. It does, but then it really doesn't. Where I came from, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to bring it back with me here. And I know I'm very connected to my ancestors. And I've had those visions. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm not even speaking about that because I don't even know what that is. And God, if you want me to recapture whatever that is, you're going to bring me back to it. And the creator know I go kicking and screaming like, no, I'm not doing that. Not now, God, no. But I just want to say again, thank you so much. And I'm literally now hugging myself and I'm transferring that hug to you because I cannot wait to go back with you. And I'm complete.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. That was very powerful. And I want to just say, Afria, you do know who your people are. We know. We may not know up here, but we know. And when you find them, you'll feel it. And just listen. Don't say, you don't have to be kicking and screaming. You can just say yes and you'll be clear. But I'm excited and yeah. I am going to share, Coach Chantel, like what we need to do, like more about the business. And yeah, I'm going to do that. But before we do move on, and I want to say thank you to everybody for opening up your hearts and sharing so much with me and us, all of us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like us to do a little movement, a little stretching, and a little changing up, a little vibration change, because as everyone is bringing up, there's so much trauma connected to this. There's trauma connected to what happened to us to get here, to us being enslaved here. And then there's trauma, even our return can be traumatic. Everyone who's been back to Africa and has gone through any door of no return or any of those dungeons, you felt the trauma when you were there. If you've been in the South in this country, you felt the trauma. If you've been in New York City, walking down the street, you felt the trauma. So we've been traumatized, regardless of where we are today. We've all felt the trauma. And so we have some things that we can do to help us shift the trauma so that we can heal it. But Miss Denise West would like to share something, and then we'll go on and do our exercise. Yes,
Gina,
Coach Denise. Yes.
This is Cheryl.
Hi, yes. I what this brings up for me, and it's real confirmation. I've been wanting to do more and more of my family ancestry. In fact, I was on there last night looking at the family tree and recognizing as a young person, when I had family members trying to share it, how I took it but didn't go deep in it. And those were missing opportunities. So one, make sure we share with our young people so they understand the importance of our true ancestry. It doesn't start with the United States. We need to go beyond. And even if we are in the United States, going back to North Carolina and South Carolina and changing the paradigm, changing the language. Of course, I'm going on your trip. And I've been wanting to find out exactly where I was from Africa. I know I was, and I was like, I don't want to make it a meaningless trip. I want to know exactly where. Some people from Africa have said, you look like you so-and-so, because, they can look at bone structure. But also reclaiming and shifting the abuse that we took. I see that as part of it. You mentioned trauma, shifting. Some people don't want to go back, like Chantel said, her grandmother, because she still has pain. That represents pain. They were leaving and egressing from there because of the pain, because of the abuse, because of the killing and things like that. How do we reclaim who we really were as people? It's really sort of important, and it will be some emotional work that when we go back, we have to be prepared for emotional work and healing. And some of the pain that we feel inside, and we don't even know where it's coming from, but it's generational. And I'm complete.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Coach Denise. That is so true. And healing is the whole point of the journey, and healing that trauma, so that we don't have to keep passing it down and we don't have to keep living in it, you know. Thank you. Coach Cheryl, you wanted to share?
Yeah, I was just going to share from Facebook before you do the stretching. So from Facebook, Kwana Cherise says, what an amazing vision brought to fruition. So many of us are missing something and we don't know what it is. For me, Sankofa Sojourns means to go back and get the pieces of me that I don't know about, to share them with my son so that he can also share. Thank you for bringing this to the people. It is needed, and I believe that God is working through you to bring these sojourns forth. I cannot wait to sojourn with you. And I have thing for a number of reasons. One, because you already know you're my baby sister, and I'm just so proud of you. And I really wanted to let your light shine without me adding in my voice. But the conversations that this is invoking are so potent and powerful and choking me up. And it reminds me of how I feel about my trip, my sojourn, which to me, I was like, I only went to Egypt, but my trip and my experience was life-changing for myself and my family. As you know, we journeyed together, and my children, my husband, we all went, and never came back, never the same. And as the baby experienced when we got on the tarmac, the same exact experience happened with the whole group. I went with the dessert club to class of 2006, and that everyone's faces was touching the ground. Everyone was just emotional, crying after I think it was about, it was more than 10 hours, but it was a long journey, in a straight flight from JFK. And once we arrived, everyone was face on the ground. And there's just, I can't even stop to say how many experiences, but one of my biggest takeaways was how royal we were treated, how everyone made me, I know me personally, I felt like I was a queen, and I experienced my birthday there, and the staff, the Egyptian people threw me a birthday party on the train, and it was just, they would determined to turn up on my behalf, and they did. And it was just, I just really felt so honored and cherished. And they know who we are when we go. They know that they're not descendants of those who created those wonderful, beautiful, amazing monuments and pyramids and everything, but they know that we are. And so when you go back and you touch that they can't help but treat you with the dignity that we deserve. So we all have to Sankofa wherever we can. And yes, I too am waiting to go on this amazing, amazing journey, riding the ship from here back there with you. So I know that this is divine order, and I'm complete.
Thank you, Sissy Pooh. Thank you. Yeah, this has all been so amazing, and just you guys are, it's exactly what I expected. This is the woo. It's just, it's always going to be phenomenal. No matter, we could be talking about lipstick. It's just going to be a phenomenal conversation about lipstick. So this has just been so powerful today. So we want to do a little stretching, and I feel like we should also do a little bit of meditation together, just so we could kind of release some of the things that are coming up. Okay, Coach Denise, thank you so much for coming and sharing, and enjoy worship today. All right, so if you want to, you can go off camera, make sure everything is muted. We're just gonna do a couple of minutes of changing it up a little bit. So you can close your eyes, and we're gonna start with some breaths. So we're just gonna breathe in and hold it, and then we'll breathe out, all right? So let's breathe in. Hold that breath. Now breathe out. Now breathe in again through your nose. Hold that breath. Now breathe out. Breathe in again. Hold it. And breathe out through your mouth with a sigh. I'm gonna let go. Okay. So now I ask you to roll your shoulders up towards your ears, and now back so that your shoulder blades can kind of touch each other. And now push your shoulders down, and now pull them in front of you, kind of hunch them forward, just to loosen up your shoulders and let go of some of the tension that's been building as we've been talking about trauma and enslavement. Let's roll our shoulders. Now roll your shoulders forward. Let's reverse it. And breathe out. Now, if you could, just kind of in your chair if you want, or you can stand if you like, just sort of rock from side to side to loosen up your back, your middle back. Just rock from side to side just to loosen that up. And keep breathing. Now I want you to do a little body roll and loosen up your lower back. And if you're in a space where you can do so, touch your toes, lean forward slowly. Don't bang your head because your eyes are closed. And touch your toes. And let your back stretch itself out. And breathe out. And now come back upright. And lift your knees. If you're standing, bend them. If you're sitting like I am, just lift them up and down, both knees, just alternate, sort of like you're walking while you're sitting in your chair. And you can rock from side to side. Just want to loosen things up. And take your hands and shake them out. Shake out your hands. Shake, 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 shake. Shake your hands out. Okay, let's get our energy flowing and activated. Okay. And breathe out. I'll invite you to gently shake your head from side to side. Sort of like tick tock, shake your head from side to side. Don't break your neck. Don't whip your head. Just shake it gently back and forth, side to side. And as you're shaking your head, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out as you're shaking your head. We want to activate our brain stems. Okay, we want to activate. Because we have visions rolling around inside of us. They may be coming to our brain and we may be letting them get stuck in our brain, and we don't want to activate those visions because it's the unknown. And sometimes it's hard to do things that you've never done before. But if you've seen it, you've done it. So it's not new, it's yours. So we just want to activate our brain so that we can know that, Okay, so you can just slowly stop shaking your head. And I'm going to ask you to put your hands in front of you, sort of like you're cupping some rice, okay? Not water, because I don't want it to run through your fingers, but make a nice cup with your hand, a nice bowl. And as you're sitting here, I want you to have your bowl, and I want you to fill this bowl. I want you to take all of the things that have come up, all of the traumatic visions, all of the memories that were painful, all of the generational pain that may have come up. I want you to take and fill up this bowl. Let it out. Breathe it out. Breathe out your trauma. Breathe out your pain. Breathe out the misery. We're releasing it. We're feeling it. And the tears may come because it was painful. And it still is. Breathe it out. Don't hold it in. Breathe it out. And continue to breathe out and pour it right into your bowl. Pour it into your bowl. All of those things, all the trauma, all of the pain, all of the misery, all the suffering that has come up in this conversation. It may be somewhere in your body. You might be feeling it in your stomach if you're like me. Breathe it out. Get that breath all the way from your stomach if you need to. Get it out. It might be in your throat if you're like me. Let it out. Let it out. It might be in your head. You might be feeling some pressure. You might be feeling like it's about to blow. Let it out. Breathe it out. Cry it out. Get it out. So I want you to take this bowl and I want you to release this bowl. I want you to take the bowl, hold it away from your body, and open your hands and release it. It's out of you. The air can cleanse it. The air can cleanse it. The air goes everywhere. It's out of you. Let's let it be recirculated. Let it come back as something positive. Shake out your hands and breathe out. Shake out your hands. Okay, and then wipe your hands. Let's clean that out. Let's clean that off our hands. And shake them again. Put your bowl back together. It's a clean, empty bowl now. Now you have a clean, empty bowl. Fill it up with the playfulness that Sister Purple felt when she was in a place that was meant for pain. She found a spirit of play and adventure somehow, because that's who we are. Put that in your bowl. Put that playfulness, put that adventure in your bowl. Put that thing that makes you go and put your face on the ground when you get home. Put that spirit in your bowl. Put the joy of the ladies who were dancing on slave ships in your bowl, because they found a way to be themselves in a place where they were being told they were nothing and nobody. They found a way to express themselves in their own true authenticity. Put your authenticity in your bowl. Breathe it out into the bowl. Put your joy, your zest for life, because if you know that you have that in you too. Yes, we have the traumas that we breathed out, and I'm hoping that it uncovered some of your zest, some of your reason for getting up and going and doing. Put that in there. Put your ability, whatever it may be. We all have different abilities, but we all have something that we're able to do, be it physical, mental, spiritual. Put your strengths and abilities in that bowl. Breathe into this bowl life and love. Breathe it into your bowl. I want you to take this bowl. I want you to gently raise it up high above, as high as you can. And I want you to tilt that bowl, and I want you to shower yourself in all of this beautiful, beautiful goodness that you just put in your bowl. I want you to shower yourself in it. Let it rain down all over you. Let the joy, let the playfulness, let the spirit of adventure and love and zest just shower you. Now you have still in your bowl, you have the residue of all that goodness. So I want you to massage that in your hands like lotion. Massage all that goodness into your hands. Rub it all over your body. You're off camera. Put it wherever you want to put it. Okay, just rub that goodness all over you. And I want you to put your hands on your heart. And I want you to breathe in and hold it and feel your heart beating with all the goodness that you just put in there. Now breathe out. Breathe in one more time. Breathe out. And one last breath to just seal it all in there. Breathe out through your mouth. And give yourself a hug. All right, so we're gonna come back on camera because we still have a few more things to cover. So if I have your permission, I will probably need another 10 minutes, if that's all right with you. And if you have to go, I understand. All right, thank you. Okay, so thank you. So we're going to talk about vision. I've spent a while talking about my vision, and I want you to talk about yours as well, okay? When I was talking about this with my mother and my sister, we were talking about visions. And one of the things that my mother said is we need to take heed of those messages. You know, we get messages all the time. We need to pay attention to them. We need to take heed of them. This is how we'll bring our gifts to the world, okay? And this is why we're here. So I know for me, I'm always being reminded, you know, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I'm, like I said, it's a thing that keeps coming up. So I guess it's a message I need to keep hearing so that I can really understand it and believe it and live in it. Because I forget often, you know, I do forget. But spaces like this, like the Woo, like doing things like joining a Rites of Passage collective, like Be the Tree. These are the type of things that keep us coming back to our vision, keep us on track and staying in our truth. Okay, so we have had a lot of talk about, like I said, my vision. I wanted to give you a chance to share if there's been a vision that you feel that's been placed on you. You know, maybe you haven't been able to talk about it yet. You know, I know a lot of us have lots of powerful vision. This is a very powerful community. But some of us may have been quiet about things, and I'm not really ready to share. I know on one of these calls, Coach Brother Kamal called me out. He was like, Sister Gina, I want you to share your vision. Hasn't a vision been placed on you? And I was like, okay, but I shared it. So I'm inviting you, if there's been someone here who's feeling that there's a vision burning inside of them, or just kind of rolling inside that they're not quite sure what it is, if they'd like to share that with the community today, you know, so that we could help you, we can receive that vision with you and help you if need be to bring it to the world, because we all have something that we've been called to do. So is there anyone who is willing and able and ready to share? Or maybe you don't have to be ready, just be willing and able. The ready will come later. I'm gonna wait. I'm really comfortable with silence. So, because I know you're here. Okay, Sister Purple, can you share your vision with us?
Yes. So I initially had put a deposit down on land in Ghana. It was one of the places I wanted to fulfill on the vision to build retreat centers for hip hop industry artists to recover from the abusiveness of the industry, and do a very specific one for female rap artists. But something definitely off this continent.
Wow. Wow, that is powerful.
One of my visions.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And she said, I put my money on it. So that's, you know, this is what it takes sometimes.
Yeah, I'm going to win the lotto this week, and that'll be my seed money to do
Okay,
this.
manifester, manifester, manifester. She's manifesting that seed money coming through, come through, come through. Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that powerful vision with us. Yeah, there's been so much trauma in the music industry. You know, I'm not a part of that world, but we all know, you know, it's one of those most public things. I mean, we want to talk about slavery, then Prince tattooed a symbol that meant like slave on his face, like one of the most powerful people in the music business was traumatized by the way he was treated. You know, Michael Jackson, the list I'm sure goes on and on for things that have happened, not to mention the things that have happened to the women, you know, and I'm sure some of the men too who just haven't shared some of the things that have happened to their bodies, you know, trying to make it in the music business. So that's beautiful, and it's necessary, because we all take from the musicians. We love them. We enjoy their music. We love to hear about their lives. We love them. You know, we think of some of these people as parts of our family. They make the soundtrack to our lives. but the trauma that they've gone through to bring us that music, the pain that they've suffered. Yeah, we should all get behind something like this. We should all be behind a center to help those people who bring so much joy to the world, you know, so that they can continue, they can be whole and healthy too. Um, thank you. So, and as far as what I need, at this point, what we're doing is I'm doing sojourns, little ones, mini sojourns, you know, right here. I did my first one yesterday. We went to an art gallery in Montclair, New Jersey, at Montclair State University, and that was phenomenal. We saw it's called Black Wall Street: A Case for Reparations, and we had a great time there. It was a small group of us, and we were able to create some art. We were able to, you know, do some meditation. We were able to have a wonderful discussion about the need for reparations and the ability, you know, to heal, you know, because we are resilient people, we can do these things. And in the midst of it all, creating our own little artwork too, you know, so it was really great. And I think it was, you know, very healing. And so I'm doing things like that right now. And so if you would like to support, I will continue to share these things. You can email me at sankofasojourns@gmail.com. It's in the chat, I'm sure, and it'll come up again, I'm sure. And I will definitely add you to my mailing list and share any things that we have coming up. In June will be our next sojourn. And this time we're going to the African burial grounds in Manhattan, and we're going to do some stuff there. And that's what's coming up next. And we'll continue to do this. We want to build up so that we become also a retreat place. So, you know, maybe we'll be going over to Ghana, to Mr. Purple's retreat center one day and having a retreat there. But for now, we'll do retreats here. We'll go visit sites that are, you know, historically significant for us, and do healing when we get there. You know, if we travel as a group, we'll do healing on the way. The trip, you know, the ultimate trip to Africa will also be, you know, a healing journey. Like Coach Denise was saying, you know, there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of trauma, a lot of healing is going to be needed. So we'll have people there to help us through the trauma. You know, we'll have healers, we'll have counselors, we'll have artists, we'll create art, we'll share our art. We'll do a lot on that ship to create joy, you know, and to heal trauma. And this is what we're going to be doing, you know, along the way, because it's an arduous journey. It wasn't, you know, it's a pleasure cruise for them to get here. So I'm sure it's not going to all be fun and games for us to go back. So we have to go into this understanding that things will come up, and that's what they're supposed to do, right? Because if we just keep it buried, it just keeps on traumatizing us. But if we bring it up and get it out, give it back to the ocean, we can keep on pushing. So that's the ultimate plan. Okay, that's the big vision. So as the small vision is right now, the smaller things we'll do in bits and pieces will be that, you know, going together, creating community where we can do sojourns. We can take little temporary stays. Maybe it's just a couple of hours, maybe it's a couple of days, you know, where we can get together as a collective with the goal of just healing and sharing and being together and helping our ancestors heal as well. Because, you know, I do firmly believe that no one ever really leaves. So we're all still here. They're here, their energy is here. And, you know, if we feel pain, then I'm sure they do too. So I think we need to build ourselves up together, become a community, and then we'll be able to take that trip together, you know, and we'll be able to make that healing journey together, you know, that could be your sojourn. Could be that it's a temporary stay when you're making that trip, or you could look at it as this is our sojourn, staying here in this country for the last however many years it's been since your ancestors got here. Or even not just this country, because I've got to acknowledge all of our Caribbean and South American brothers and sisters who also have been just as traumatized. I know people have this whole concept of ADOS right now, right? American descendants of slaves. Well, does it matter where your ship landed, where you got dropped off? No, we all went through the same trauma, whether you landed in, Costa Rica, or Barbados or Jamaica or, Charleston or New Orleans, it's the same. You came from the same place. And so we have to look at that, and we have to stop separating ourselves and start joining together in our understandings of one another. Okay. So, regardless of where your ancestors may have been placed, we can make this journey back together, and we can let this healing begin together. And I believe, it's my firm belief, and I know it's true because I got my vision. So I don't have any doubt, that this is how we can heal. We can heal ourselves. And if we each one person at a time can heal yourself, then there's no limit to what healing can take place throughout the world. Now for me, I am complete. I think I'm going to stop here. And I want to say thank you to everybody. Before we go, I don't know, was there anything burning in the chat or anything in Facebook I don't want to ignore, because I can't really multitask and read the chat and talk to you guys. I really want to be focused. So is there anything in the chat or in Facebook that, needs to come out?
Gina, I'll read a couple responses from Facebook, and Chantel, I guess if there's more to say in the chat, she can read that. So Regina Yasmin Brown says, strong awakenings, arisen in excellence, and striving for peace of mind. Blessings. And
thank you, sister.
Niamo Nancy Muid says, this is a rich and satisfying Sankofa conversation. So happy to be here today. And Catherine Bali Jean gives the red, black, and green hearts and says, go, Gina.
Thank you, big boss, Coach Catherine, trying to keep up with you.
And Jem McBean L says, in the 80s, I had a few visions of myself being male and standing in front of the pyramids in Egypt in a past life.
Wow.
And let's see. And then Stacy also said that she would be, I don't know, it disappeared right now, but that she would be there. Let me go to the other side. I want to quote her properly. That she would be there leading yoga, healing, loving, meditating, drawing, and dancing. And Jem says she would like to take because she lived there in a past life.
Thank you. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so Sabrina in the chat said, thank you for saying that, Gina. We are all the same. I'm looking forward to this journey with you. Adam said, let's stop the auto-intoxication within our people. Help me out with that song. Okay.
Auto-intoxication, Adam?
Intoxication.
Yeah, auto-intoxication.
Thank you, Adam.
You got it.
And Terry said, thank you, Gina. Great thought-provoking presentation. Sabrina, as a Jamaican born, raised in America, I never felt connected to America. Today, that was changed.
Oh, sister.
Awesome. And then this was beautiful from Purple. This was beautiful, Gina. Thank you. And Stephanie said thank you as well. And thank you again, Gina. Like someone said earlier, I think it was Z, but thank you for trusting your vision and leaning into it, because we oftentimes get visions or we feel things we don't understand, and we get signs that we don't understand and we let it go by, we pass it by. And you are leaning into it. And not only that, you're sharing it and you are soliciting others to join you and asking for help and saying, this is how you can help me. You're being explicit in that. So we're all down for you. We got the ship fund already working on that. And please keep us up to date with your mini Sankofas. When they do come up, please put them in the Woo channel so we can all know about it and join you, especially if we're local.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And then John, you ready? The slides. All right.
Okay.
You want to tell us more about this, Gina?
Yes. So this is my special offer. I wish I could give you a free trip, maybe some other time. But right now, my special offer is to give you something that we brought back. I would like the first two people to, let me start over. The first two participants who email me at Sankofa Sojourns at gmail.com. Yeah, John put it in the chat. Will receive bricks of cacao butter from Cote d'Ivoire. It's amazing. You'll open the jar and you'll feel like you're in Africa. So that's my gift to the first two participants who email me at Sankofa Sojourns at gmail.com. And here's all my contact information on Facebook. It's Sankofa Sojourns. On TikTok, it's Sankofa Sojourns. My email is sankofasojourns@gmail.com. And I just opened an Instagram. I changed my Instagram, and it's also Sankofa Sojourns on Instagram. So if you want to find me, that's how you can find me. Thank you. And love offerings and donations. So love offerings and donations. If you want to share your love for what you received today, you can make a donation at using Zelle or QuickPay. You'll go to SOW, Soul Leadership Development at gmail.com. If you're using Cash App, you'll use $ Spirit of a Woman. And I'm showing https://cash.me/$ Spirit of a Woman. And when you make your love offering or donation, you can use code #571GLD for Gina Leito-Diouf.
Thank you so much, Gina. And I'll read this part of our love offering and donations. And we have a new monthly automated love offerings where you can commit to $25 a month. You can click that link, bit.ly/woolove25. You can change that 25 to a 50. We can go up to 100 if you like. And don't stop there, please. And just click these links were shared in the chat. You can click those. You can do it immediately. Do it while it's nice, warm, and fresh. The energy is flowing. And remember what we speak about money. Money is my own natural energy yields. So the more you put out, the more you bring back. And remember, you are also currency. So feel free to share that energy with us.
Yes, thank you, John. And I would like to share the upcoming Woo presenters. So on Monday, join us on Monday, April 25th for It's Activation Time, facilitated by none other than head coach Sahu Speak Kokai. Yes, so you know you're going to be activated. You're going to be activated tomorrow. And Tuesday, join us on Tuesday, April 26th for The Art of Touch. Now that's going to be interesting. Facilitated by Martine Lissa Malavers. Yes, Sister Martine, come through. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. And I would like to welcome all the new members to our community. You can let us know that you're new. You can add it in the chat, whether it's your first day, your first week, your first month. Even if you joined us this year, we just want to celebrate you. Share it in the chat that you're here with us and let our community spread that love. Here in this community, we choose to learn, elevate, and ascend. Welcome. Thank you for being with us. Here's our schedule. We're here Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for our 90-minute workshop from 7 to 8:30. And on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30 for our shorter workshop. We're always streaming live on Facebook. And to make sure you don't miss a session, you can sign up for our Woo alerts. You can easily do that by texting Woo Nation to the number 74121. Again, Woo Nation to 74121. You can also support our community and show your love for the community by visiting our swag store. Check out some of the wonderful items we have there. And you can do so by clicking on bit.ly/Woo Swag. Check out our swag store today. And here is how you stay in touch. These are some of our links. Register bit.ly/wake up movement. You can find us on Facebook in our private group at bit.ly/woo community. You can find us in our public group, bit.ly/woo nation. /Woo Nation, Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual, on YouTube, bit.ly/on YouTube, or you can always email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. Now, at this time, I would like to stop the screen share. Let's go to gallery view. Come off mute, everybody, and let's bless our sister Gina with love. Welcome to your love shower, Gina.
Thank you, Gina. That was
Great presentation.
beautiful. Thank you
Thank you everyone for
so
sharing.
much.
Really to bring us together. Thank you for the vision and for believing in it.
Thank you for sharing.
It was brought to life. Look at all of us here.
Sign me up. Sign
Thank
me
you
up.
so much for being
Just
here.
gonna actually keep believing and having
Hey,
faith.
la, 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 la,
Wow.
woo,
Can we give it up for Gina's shirt today, though?
Hey,
hey, la, 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 woo,
I want my Mandela today.
yes,
I love
la,
it.
la, la, woo, woo,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you,
Find a way to wake
everybody.
up.
I love you, Gina.
La, la,
Great
la, la,
work.
la, woo, woo, yeah. Thank you, Gina.
And
Peace and love.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Learning about history is sexy.
You the pro girl. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful content. Wonderful, wonderful. Looked brilliant and was
Great
wonderful.
way to start the new week.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you.
take that shirt and the earrings too.
You rocking it, girl. Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Beautiful
much.
presentation.
Love you, girl.